Hey Soul Family, it's Angie here, and just wanted to check in and also talk about a topic that's been coming up for me personally, and something that I realized that I think can be very helpful, especially right now. First, I'm gonna see if I can share this to my shadow work group. Let's see. No, but I'll share it to them later. Hey, Chloe. I don't know who else is on, but when you come on, I love. So if you want to say hi, if you want to send some hearts, I'll totally receive that. So what I would love to share with you today is on the topic of patterns, old patterns surfacing. You know, we are in eclipse season, and it is the time for our old patterns to show up, to come up. Stuff that you thought you were through with, you thought you worked through, right? You thought you integrated it. But the reality is, you know, we're always healing more and more layers. You know, healing happens in a layered process. And so, you know, but it always, even though we know that, it seems to come as a shock when, you know, our old patterns start to come up again. And there can be a lot of shame around that, you know, with old patterns coming up. You know, especially those of us who are on a healing journey and who are light workers, maybe we've been doing this work for a while. You know, what comes up a lot for people is, you know, I should be beyond this by now. So there's a lot of self-judgment that comes up. But, you know, a very wise mentor recently reminded me that, you know, human beings are patterns. That's what we are. We are a conglomeration of energetic patterns. You know, the Shipibo of Peru, they really understand this, you know, because, you know, they work with plant teacher. Well, they work with a lot of plant teachers, but one in particular, you know, that they work with, you know, is really, it's like a tool that lets you see what's actually here. It lets you see the energy of things. It's almost like a scientific tool. Like a microscope or something, or a telescope that allows you to see what you can't see with the naked eye. And what they see are these patterns. And I'm actually just kind of deconstructing my altar right now, just to show you, like, this is you know, these are energetic patterns. And actually this is a song. It's a song about manifesting bigger dreams, and it's a vibrational pattern. And when they're, you know, doing their medicine work, they're seeing these patterns, and then they go and they weave them and record them in this way. And I've actually had the opportunity to go and sit with the Shipibo and be in ceremony with them and work with, you know, work with those same kinds of medicine, and seen those patterns myself. So what I'm saying is that all of life, you know, it's all energy, and it's all these energetic patterns. And we are energetic patterns as well. So, you know, when an old pattern comes up, remember, it's very natural. It's very normal. There's nothing wrong with an old pattern coming up. I mean, it's what you are. It is this life is patterning. So I want to just invite you, next time an old pattern comes up that, you know, you feel like you should have already worked through, that you should be far beyond, you know, or it's just really uncomfortable, you know, when that pattern is coming up. I just want to invite you to remember that you are a pattern, and you're made up of many patterns, and it's natural and normal, you know, for patterns to surface. And a reminder that anytime an old pattern is coming up, it's coming up so that it can move out. So it doesn't actually mean anything bad about you. Others might think it does, and you may think it does because you've been taught to believe that it does. And you may be shamed, when your old patterns come up, especially if like people, for people who wanted you to be past that, right? But I want to just invite you to not allow anybody else's thoughts or judgments about certain patterning and about you to influence your experience of the pattern coming up. If you go into judgment, or if you get sucked into a story of judgment, ridicule, and shame, then you're actually slowing down the process of this pattern actually integrating and moving out, of it actually being healed. When you go into judgment, when you go into fear, you are, the pattern actually gets stuck, right? Because you go into resistance of it. You're not allowing it to move through you. And that's all that it really wants to do. And that's all that, your higher self is inviting you into when these patterns arise. And now, we're in the eclipse season. A lot of people's stuff is coming up. And there's also, I'm not an astrologer. I just watch, the forecasts, and there's a lot of Mars energy right now, which can bring a lot of fire. And so we can tend to get, really angry with ourselves and others, when our patterns come up or when their patterns come up. So just remember that it's natural and normal for people's patterns to come up. It's okay if your stuff is coming up. It's okay if other people's stuff is coming up. Could you allow yourself to have the experience that you're having, for the patterns to surface and come up to be seen? Could you allow other people's patterns to come up and to surface and to be seen, so that real healing can happen, so that real growth can happen? That's all I want to say. I just want to support you in this way because, having this realization with myself this week as some patterns were coming up has really shifted everything for me, shifted my experience, brought me out of shame and back into my power. And I want that for you too. So I also want to invite you to join me in my shadow work and shamanism group for a full moon eclipse shadow work and shamanic healing session on Saturday. I'm holding that at 9 a.m. On Saturday morning, Mountain Standard Time, and it's online. So if you want to join me, you'll need to join the shadow work group, and it is $10, and so you can Venmo me that, and once I get your Venmo or PayPal, I'll share the Zoom link with you. So make sure and sign up by Friday, so that, because I don't like to tend to those things right before the call. So sign up by Friday, that's the deadline. I hope to see you there. I'd love to support you. We're going to be doing some inquiry to really get some deep grounding first. Deep grounding, really slowing down. Part of my medicine is being able to take people really deep, really quickly, and into an altered state without any medicines. And so that you can get into the subconscious and really see what it is that's coming up for you. What does the heart want you to see right now? What wants to be healed right now? And then you'll have a chance to share what's coming up for you in the form of your prayer. What are you wanting, Spirit to support you in? What are you handing over, right? What are you tired of struggling with? And what are you asking for help with? And then we'll do a group shamanic healing session. And the shamanic healing is all about repatterning. It's all about tending the energy and actually making it easier for you to let go of what you've been trying to let go of and maybe, struggling with. And to help move out those old unhealthy patterns, help ease the process of that and bring in new patterning that is of a higher frequency and that is congruent with who and what you are, what you're becoming, what you're stepping into, the version of you that you want to be, and that you're being called to be. So that's what we're going to be doing on Saturday. I invite you to come join me. Again, I'll post the link for Shadow Work and Shamanism, my free Facebook group, in the comments. And then from there, you'll be able to see the invitation, and just make sure you sign up before Friday. And it's $10, very low cost for the value that you're going to get out of this. So, and the support during this very potent portal. All right, so big love and blessings, sending those out to you, and I hope this supports you. Remember, it's okay that your old patterns are coming up right now. They're coming up to be healed. It's natural, it's normal. It doesn't mean anything bad about you. It actually means you're stepping into a higher, much higher frequency iteration of yourself, or at least that's the opportunity if you choose to make it so. If you choose to meet those old unhealthy patterns, limited patterns with awareness. And a lot of times we need help with that. And so that's what I do. And I'd love to support you in that at this time. All right. Peace.